All right, shalom everybody, and peace of the Lord to all of you. Peace for those who love peace, and no peace for the wicked man, the Lord said. And today we will show you the wickedness of Muslims. In front of us we have a video of this guy who before he cried out saying, it's not him who called me. You can watch the video. He was crying saying, I swear I am not the one who called a Christian prince, because whoever called me at that day, he was demolished. Anyway, he claimed it's not him. However, we offer him many times to debate me, but the coward, he will never dare. But doesn't matter if they show up to debate us or not. We are going to expose their lies with no mercy. So the Muslims, they invite naive people to their mosque, because there's no way anyone he is smart, he will go to the Muslim mosque unless you are really armed with knowledge. So they invite people who they have no idea what Islam is about, and they have no idea what Christianity is about. And they make food, to invite, those people who they are, you find them everywhere as long there is free food. So they, they invite people who like free food, and then when they invite them, they try to school them and tell them Islam is the best religion. And today we will give you an example of their lies. And there's a link for the video to give him a credit for his video in the info of this video. So listen carefully what Sabeel Ahmed, the coward who don't dare to talk to me, he don't dare to call me, he don't dare to take a call from me, he's a potato. Let us hear what he will say, and to show you how easy to destroy the wicked Mohammedans with no mercy.
The concept of Trinity amongst different religions. Fine. So first and foremost, for a Muslim, we say that God is only one, He's not triune. Means God is not made up of different persons. There is only one God and there is only one person. He's not multiple persons. So Islam does not believe in Trinity, right?
Yeah, but Allah is not multiple person. But when we ask Muslims why Allah he used the word we, they say he used the word we to greet himself as a majestic. As an example, if we type the word khalaqna, which means we created. We. In the Quran, you will find Allah keep talking about himself as we. This is an example, not limited to. And those whom we have created. The second you ask the Muslim why he is saying we created, if he is one and he is the one who created, he will say to you that because Allah, he liked to use we to look big. So if Allah himself, the one you call him one, he don't like to be called one, he call himself we. So when we see this word here, either this we, I mean, look how many times appear in the same chapter. 207 times. How many? 207 times. Maybe this is the search engine is giving us wrong. Consider any, but many of the time it says we, So we created their community. If we is fake, Allah is a liar. If we is real, which means Allah multiple person, Allah is saying the truth. Either one, Muslims then have a problem. And if Allah don't like to call himself I, most likely, he prefer we because we will represent him better. That means we is the right approach to God, not I, according to Muslims, not to me. And if Allah he lie in order to make himself sound great, how Allah can be great if he is a liar? So from the beginning, Muslims they lie. In fact, the Muslims they believe in something called Tawhid. Tawhid does not mean one God. Tawhid mean unification of God. If I go right now and type here in front of your eyes in Arabic, I just type the word Tawhid. Tawhid. And this is what I see in front of me. Tawhid al-Yaman al-Shamali wal-Junubi. Unification of the right Yemen and the South Yemen and the North Yemen. So what Tawhid mean? Unification. And this is appear in front of you. Tawheed, 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 Tawheed. Each time, Juhud al-Tawheed, the work to unify the Arabian states. Tawheed al-Qawaneen, unifying the law. Let me use Google translation or translate. So you can see that the Muslims, when they say that they believe in Tawheed, Tawheed does not mean one God. Tawheed means to unify. And this is the word Tawheed in the front of you. The aim of unification, effort to unify the Arabic countries or the Arab countries. You see how Tawheed coming all over the place? So if I search for unification, which was in Arabic as Tawheed. Remember, I typed Tawheed, I did not type different word. All right. Date of unification of the United Arab Emirate. What the word is used here? Tawheed. The date of Tawheed Emirate. So is Tawheed mean oneness or unification? The Arabic, the clear Arabic says mean unification of multi-parts. It's not something unified already or one. Unification of the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. What is the word here in the Arabic? Tawheed. Let us switch to the Arabic language. Read it. Do you see it? Tawheed. So the stupid Muslims, I never saw a Muslim, by the way, is not a stupid. Prove me wrong. When they say we believe in Tawheed, they are saying we believe in multiple person and multiple God, not only multiple person. And they are seeking to unify them. And actually, this is what Islam is about. This is why Muhammad, he chosen that word. This word never appeared in the Quran. When Muhammad speak about Tawheed, he was speaking of unification of the gods of Arabia to be Allah and Akbar. Allah is the moon god, Akbar is the sun god, which we will see later, and we will prove it to you in this video. So when this potato, he say the word Tawhid, and he say we Muslim believe in Tawhid, in fact he is saying to you that we believe in unification of gods, not one God. This is how stupid they are. Even those who speak Arabic do not know what they are talking about. So what you expect from someone, he is from Pakistan or Bangladesh, he don't even know one Arabic word. So they bring like maybe most of those are Muslims, and there's a few they came for free food, and now he is schooling them about unification. Let us continue. I mean, he did not say anything and we got him busted. He did not even say anything yet. All right, let us continue.
Chapter 5 of the Quran, verse number 72, 73, 74, it says, do not say three. Jesus is not Allah or God, and God is not Jesus. Jesus' message according to...
This is what the Quran, chapter 5. Guys, when I say every Muslim is a potato, I can confirm it to you in 2 seconds. Look what he said. Listen carefully.
73, 74, it says,
Let us go to the Quran, chapter 5, verse number 73, 72, 73, whatever he said. And then you will see that every Abdul is a liar until he proved the opposite. In fact, what he is quoting for us prove the opposite. This is the yellow pages of Muhammad, the cartoon. All right. Surely disbelieve those who says Allah is the third of a tree. You see what he said, he manipulated the verse and he made something else. Now anyone here discover what is the mistake here? Anyone notice what is the mistake here? Do we have any Muslim? First of all, the Christian do not believe in Allah at all. Now some Muslim will say to you, no, the Arab Christian today, they are using the word Allah. I can show you from their Arabic translation that because they are under the Muslim occupation for the last 1400 years and they went through hell. So this is a false translation when they use the word Allah. This is why you don't see someone who would like, do we find the word Allah in a country run not by Muslims? No. You will find it only in a translation of the Bible, only where Muslims are in control, like Indonesia, Iraq, Syria, etc. So when Allah, he says Allah is not the third of a tree, the stupid Allah himself, he says this. And I hope you guys, you take note. According to Muhammad, in chapter 5, verse number 17, the same chapter, the stupid Muhammad, he says that the Muslim, him as a Muslim speaking to the Christian, Allah told him to say, surely disbelieve who say that Allah is the Messiah. Anyone notice now how the Quran is stupid? The same chapter saying, surely disbelieve the one who say Allah is the third or one of the three. The same chapter 5:17 says, surely disbelieve that the one say Allah is the Messiah. So if Allah is the Messiah, who is the second and who is the third? Do the Christian believe that Jesus is the Father? No. Correct? Are you with me? Not a single Christian will say to you, we believe that the Messiah is the Father. Remember here, Allah is not a word being God. Some stupid people, they will say to you that Allah is a word meaning God, and he's saying, you know, like, surely disbelieve those who say that the Messiah is God. No. Allah is a unique name of God for Muslims. And Muhammad now is speaking based on what Allah supposedly told him. So Allah now is using his name, his identity. So when the stupid Muhammad he say, surely disbelieve those who say Allah is the Messiah, then where is the Trinity in the Christian statement? If the Messiah is Allah and Allah is the Messiah, where is the Trinity? Where is the multiple person? So when he quoted those verses, he got himself busted because the Quran is a book of contradiction. And imagine this mistake exists in the same chapter he is quoting for us from. If you go back here, actually, in chapter 5, verse number 73, when it says, surely disbelieve the one who say that Allah is a third of a three, and between two brackets they say to you the Trinity, but there is no God but one. No God but one. This statement is a stupid statement because you don't say there's no God and then you say but one. The author of the Quran is mentally ill. Either there's God or there's no God. So the correct Arabic statement should be there's one God, but you don't say there's no God but one, because you denied the kind already. You know what I mean? No God, that means there's no God, but one, that means there's many gods, and there's one of them is here. If I say I went inside the room and I saw no cat but one, that means there's no cats in the room but one. There's many cats, but not in the room. The one we are talking about is the exception. So either there's one God or there's multiple God. You cannot deny the existence of God in the same time you say but one. One what? Is the word one present a number? Is the word one present a person? What the word one present? Muhammad is a fool. Let us continue with the video and laugh more. Oh, we have Malik. He want to say something. I like Malik because he is very, very funny. You know, he comes from different galaxy. Let me invite Malik to the stage. Put your hand up, Malik. Malik is a scholar in Islam, but he do not know how to read his Quran. Go ahead, Malik.
لقد كفر الذين
I told you he do not know how to read the Quran. See, he's laughing at the Quran too. Not only he don't know how to read the Quran, he laugh at his book.
No, you know I laugh because I know you're gonna.
I know what?
I know what you're gonna say.
You know what I'm going to laugh at you. I know, because it's what happens every time.
You know.
So listen,
Zakir,
Malik. Listen.
Wait, one second.
As long you are in the stage, I wanna get the benefit of your experience in stupidity. Your prophet, when he speak about Allah, do he confirm that there is only one God or there is many gods?
What's your point?
Huh? See, he don't dare. You see, this is Malik. He don't dare to answer. He said to you, "What's your point?"
What's your point? Make your claim. What's your point? Make your
No, you are
claim.
afraid. You give me the answer. Who care about
I
who
just
care
said,
about who
listen,
care about the
wait,
point? You will see the point after you
I
answer.
just,
Don't be
I
afraid.
wanted to say,
Don't be afraid. Potato.
yesterday,
Don't be afraid. Give me the
yesterday,
answer. Give me the answer. Give me the answer. Is
wait 1
Allah
second.
is
Yesterday,
Allah
just
is
1 second.
Allah the only one God in Islam, or there's others? What's wrong? Why you don't answer?
There there is only one God, and that is Allah.
How many creator there is then? Must be there's only one creator, correct?
Oh my God.
Don't say oh my
Every day
God, say
is
oh
the
my
same.
Allah. Don't say
Every
oh my
day you're gonna
God.
do the same.
Listen,
There is.
in Islam there's only one creator or multi creators.
He is the creator, the only creator, the real creator.
All right, so guys,
Yes.
the only creator.
If
Thank
I
you.
create,
You gave me the
God,
answer. Hold on. So why Allah he
creator.
say? So
Wait,
why Allah he say he
he
is the best of the creators?
because he created the universe. Do you know someone who created the universe?
Yeah, I know Jesus.
Ah, he
Allah could
is
not
the
create
best of the
anything.
creators.
We can prove that Allah could not create anything
La
from
la
the
la
verse in the
la
front of
la.
us.
He's
Look,
the best of creators.
this verse prove
Of
Allah do
course.
not know how the baby is created. How Allah
Wait,
created the universe, but he do not know how the baby is created. According to your Allah, he is the
Allah. Wait,
Allah is the best of the
Allah.
creators. Allah is the best of the
Allah created
creators.
you and me.
You,
Allah created
this
you
is
and
this
me.
is your stupid
And
statement.
now,
It can't be
Mr.
true. It can't be
Wait,
true
let me
because Allah do
talk.
not know how the baby is
Allow me to
made. Okay,
finish.
read.
Allow me to finish. Allow
How
me.
Allah is the one who created me.
Are you gonna allow me to finish or not?
Yeah, Allah
Let
is
me talk.
one by one. Is Allah the best of the creators?
Of course, he's the best of creators.
Name the creators for me.
Alhamdulillah.
Name the creators.
Alhamdulillah. Rabbil Alameen.
Name the
He's the
creator.
Rabbil
Rabbil
Alameen.
Alamin.
Of course.
Name for me the creator. Okay, as long he is the best of the creators, that means there's many gods.
Oh my God. You are
Don't say, oh my
so
God, so oh my gods, because
Arabic
Allah
language.
is the best
Arabic
of the
language.
creators.
Hey, do you know people that create something? A car?
No,
Elon Musk. Elon Musk create.
creation and
Elon
religion,
Musk create. Wait. Elon Musk. Wait.
creation and religion is not
Wait.
about making shoes. This is not a creation. Creation,
Elon
we are
Musk.
talking about a
Wait.
creating. Just,
Elon Musk created a robot,
I have
but it will.
I have no time for stupidity. Create a report. Abdul, potato. Creation about giving life, you donkey. Not about making a bicycle. And the verse in front of you speak clearly about creating a blood and living a human being. Are you stupid? So Allah, he supposedly, he put this at the end of a verse speaking about how he created the babies. So when I say I am the best of the creators of babies, that means there's others that created babies too. Allah described for us supposedly what he is creating now. He's creating a human being. So when he is saying he is the best of the creators, he's speaking about what creation he is creating and what is the best of a creation he's doing. And then when we read, we laugh. This is the God who created the baby. He did not know how the baby is made. He claimed that the baby was a semen, and then the semen became a dead blood, and then the dead blood grow and become a lump, and the lump become a bone. This is the guy who created the baby. Anyone have elementary school, he knew that this is stupid. Not a single person in the world he will say such a stupid thing. There is a Canadian doctor, the Muslim, they invited him to Islamic conference. They gave him big check. So he said they give him false interpretation of the Quran. They say here that the word alaqa mean clinking things. In fact, alaqa mean dead blood. Then the same person who the Muslim invited him and they paid him a lot of money to say those stupid things, he made a book saying the Quran is full of errors. Uh, yeah, we do want to focus on the topic. We are not worried about Muhammad. Peace now, for now. Focus with me. So the author of the Quran is a certified idiot. When he say he is the best of the creators. And the funny, when a Muslim you ask him, the Muslim they say, let us read the interpretation for the verse. But the verse interpretation is so stupid. In fact, if we read what is behind the verse, we will find Muhammad, he stole this sentence from a guy, his name is Abdullah ibn Sarh. He was the scribe of Muhammad. When Muhammad, he was quoting this, ثم خلقنا النطفة علقة فخلقنا العلقة مضغة إلى آخره, etc. This guy, when Muhammad he finished, this man, the scribe, he liked what Muhammad said. He says, so blessed be Allah, the best of the creators. Muhammad, he heard him saying it. He said, put it there. The guy, he said to him, put what there, Prophet? He said, what you just said. He said, but this is what I said. Muhammad, he said, it came to me as it came to you. And right away the guy decided to leave Islam. And Muhammad command to kill him wherever he will be found. And he is the brother of Uthman the Caliphate. Muhammad, he stole the sentence from this man, he put it in the Quran. Just because he find it fit nicely with the rest of the sentence. But by adding it, he exposed himself twice. First to the man who is the scribe, and this story is written in their books, that this man, when he heard Muhammad saying that it came to you the same as it came to me, he said to himself, if Muhammad claimed to be a prophet, well, that means I am a prophet too. And he is taking what I say. In fact, he says, Muhammad, he put there in the Quran whatever I say to him. He don't know even what I'm putting there in the Quran. He don't know what I'm writing in the Quran for him. This guy was doing his own editing. But this is a clear evidence that the one who wrote the Quran is an idiot. This is not how the baby is made. And either believe there's many creators, and like the stupid Malik, he came to the mic and he said Elon Musk, he created a machine. That is not religious creation, meaning creation in religion is to create a life. This is why your God in the Quran said, do you worship those who cannot even create a fly? Muslims, they try to defend their stupid prophet, but they always fail. O mankind, a similitude has been coined, so listen to it carefully. Verily, those whom you call beside Allah cannot create a fly. So the one who can create a fly, he is God. Isn't it Jesus in the Quran? He created birds from mud, and he himself, he breathed into it. So the one who can create a fly, he is God. And Allah is putting them in the corner, speaking about supposedly the idols other than the idol of Muhammad. Your idols cannot even create a fly. Which means if they can create a fly, they are gods. But they cannot. But is that the scenario for Jesus? Jesus can create, according to the Quran, birds. The Muslim, they say to you, well, Allah gave him the power. Doesn't matter. Based on the Quran, he's a creator. Right now, as we speak, there's a flying birds made by Jesus. And we know from the Old Testament and the New Testament who is God, and Jesus made it so clear. When Jesus resurrects people from death, this is a creation. A dead person, his heart is damaged, his brain is damaged, his nerves is damaged, his blood is damaged, everything in him is damaged. Resurrection is just a new creation. Not only just reuniting between the body and the soul, but is restructuring the whole body, every single cells of it. When you die, your brain is damaged right away, your heart, your nerves, your anything, that's it. Your eyes, your anything, your skin. So when we say he was resurrected from death, that means he been given life and body together, new body, even if you look the same person, and that is Jesus. Going back to the Joker, Sabeel Ahmed.
Do not say three. Jesus is not Allah or God, and God is not Jesus. Jesus' message, according to Islam, is to invite people just to worship one God.
You see, Islam is a stupid religion because the Muslims, they say Jesus is a messenger of Allah, but the Quran says he is the word of Allah. So Jesus, according to Islam, is he the message or the messenger? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. If the Quran says clearly I mean, I cannot even let the guy talk for a minute without making a comment, because this is how stupid Islam is, and this is how this person, he do not know his religion, or he is just a manipulator as the rest of them, which is most likely the second part. According to the Quran, the Messiah is the word of Allah. Where is the word of Allah coming from? Any Muslim can answer me. And look how the Muslims in the translation, the add things is not there. You see, he says he was no more than, he was, etc. All those in the bracket are not there. You change the translator, you found something else. Let us change the translator. Suddenly the Quran is a new Quran. This guy, he added no more, but no problem, we will go with it. We know that those are addition, they are not there. O people of the book, commit no excuse in your religion, nor say Allah out but the truth. Christ Jesus, the son of Mary, is a messenger of Allah. So count with me, guys. Remember, this verse is about saying, say no Trinity, but we will show you 3 and 1 in the same time in the same verse. So the Messiah is what? Is a messenger. As a what? As a man. Okay. And he is his word. So the Messiah, the man, he's a man and a messenger, but he is the word of God. What else? Which he bestowed on Mary, and the Spirit proceeding from him. From who? From Allah. 3 and 1. The stupid Quran, the same verse saying to us, you cannot be 3 and 1 in the same time, just brought to us a new form of Jesus, that he is a 3 and 1 in the same time. He is the man, he is the word, he is the Spirit. Do you see it? This is how stupid the Quran is. Either it is possible to be 3 and 1, or it's impossible. So how Jesus become 3 and 1 in the same time? How he is the word, The Quran made other poo-poo. The Quran, after Muhammad he made this poo-poo, he tried to fix it. So he said Adam and Jesus are the same. Chapter 3 verse number 59. And by the way, I don't want to forget that the Islam is a stupid cult again, because you believe it or not, according to Islam, Imran, you see it says here chapter of Ali Imran, chapter number 3. According to the stupid Muhammad, Imran is the father of Mary, Maryam. This is why the Quran says Maryam is the sister of Aaron. So the stupid Muhammad, he is the last one to know who is even Jesus. In fact, he never named him Jesus, he named him Isa, which is a very bad word. So the stupid Muhammad, he misunderstood the Old Testament. He heard from the Jews that Moses have a sister, her name is Maryam. So he told his followers, oh, this is Maryam, the daughter of Imran, claiming that Allah, his God, is the one who is teaching him. And now it's too late to fix it. That's it. Maryam became the daughter of Imran, and she is the sister of Aaron. However, here the stupid Muhammad again, he says that the similarity between Adam and Jesus, Allah said to them, be, and he was. He created them from mud. But if we go and check how Messiah was created according to the Quran, there's no mud. What mud? And Allah did not say to Jesus, be, and he was. And the same for Adam. Allah never said to Adam, be, and he was. The stupid Quran says Allah, he had mixed mud all those verses is talking about Allah, how he created a human being. What he did, he created Adam from mud, he fashioned the mud, and then he let the mud dry for 40 years. 40 years just to dry the mud. And then after he created the mud and fashioned the mud, and 40 years is gone, he breathed into the mud. So when the stupid Quran says Allah created Adam by saying be, and he was, that is a big fat lie, as we see in chapter 15 verse number 29. So when Allah, he said to the angels, I'm going to create a human from mud, and then when I fashioned him, how Allah he fashioned him? He fashioned him by using his hands. So did Allah say be, and he was? You're using your hands. Which one which one you said first, be and he was, or using your hands and he was? Allah said, O Iblis, what to prevent thee from prostrating thyself to the one whom I created with my hands? In fact, this is not the correct translation. It is both hands. Both hands. Do you see it? So did Allah create Adam and Jesus by saying be and he was? No. Jesus, Allah, he sent the word to Mary, and then he breathed into Mary's vagina. In the case of Adam, Allah made mud by his hands. Allah, he fashioned the mud by his hands. Then Allah, he breathed into the mud from his mouth. So the statement that Allah created Adam and Jesus by saying be and he was is a false statement, contradict the Quran itself. And remember, the Quran itself says, if this is a book made by other than Allah, you will find in it a lot of contradiction. Are we taking notes? So the statement about Jesus and Adam being the same is false, because the creation of both is not the same, even in the Quran. Jesus is not created from mud. He was born. Adam was from mud, literally. Allah did not say be to Adam, Adam was. Allah made mud, used his hand, fashioned the mud, dried the mud for 40 years. In fact, in the Quran it says that a human being was ever hasty. What does that mean? If you read what Muhammad said, Allah, when he was creating Adam, Adam said to Allah, "Oh Allah, finish me before the sun set." Imagine, the Quran just said Allah created Adam by saying be and he was. And yet we find in chapter 17 verse number 11, Adam is so worried because Allah is so slow, and he was afraid that the sunset is coming and Allah could not finish him yet. Are we lying, Muslims? Let us check it out. He said be and he was, huh? By the way, we will not ask Muhammad, the stupid Muhammad with his funny stories, how Adam is in the process of a creation, yet he knew that the sun is going to set soon. What a genius, Adam. So this is Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir is one of the biggest scammers in the history of Islam. He is a YouTuber, but in the old days when there's no YouTube and there's no internet. So he was making tafsir to defend Islam, not to explain the Quran. He's just a stupid fool like the rest. So here you see in Ibn Kathir, if you go to the end, from Salman al-Farisi, from Ibn Abbas, blah blah blah, that means Muhammad, he said this story. When the story of Adam, when he wanted to get up, before his soul reached his feet, when his soul was breathed into him, it entered his body from his head downward. So Allah, he breathed now into Adam. Remember, Allah said, he said be and he was. But it turned to be, the process is so slow, there's no be and he was, it's a joke. So now his soul is coming downward. So when it reached his brain, Adam, he sneezed, Hachu. And he said, Alhamdulillah. Adam, he speak Arabic before the Arabic is created. Allah said to him, may your Lord have mercy on you, Adam. When it reached his eyes, which in his soul, He opened them, blink, blink, blink. And when it reached his body and limp, he started to stare at them in wonder, like, what the heck I have here? I wonder what he said when he saw his penis. If he was wondering about his limbs. He wanted to get up before it reached his feet, but he could not. So he said, "Oh Allah, make it happen before the sunset, before the night come." So where is Allah said be, and he was. Do you see the stupidity? Do you see why the Arab Christians are the last one to believe in the donkey Muhammad? We have all their secret. We know the language. They cannot lie to us the same they lie to you by giving you a false translation. In fact, Ibn Kathir in Arabic is way larger than Ibn Kathir in English. Ibn Kathir in English is going through severe diet. Anything is so stupid, supposedly they took it off. So now what is left in Ibn Kathir in English is supposedly the things is not stupid. This is after fertilization. So we give you an idea why Islam is so stupid. So Jesus is the creator in the Quran. Allah is the best creator in the Quran. But Allah do not know how the baby is created in the Quran. You know, the Chinese, they say, he left as a donkey, never come back as a horse. And I'm sure they were talking about Muhammad, even though he does not exist. All right? Let us continue with Sabeel Ahmed, so we can laugh more.
He was a monotheistic believer. When you go to the Old Testament also, every prophet, every messenger, they were monotheistic believers. None of them, they were Trinitarians.
You see, the stupidity here is amazing about Muslims. We as a Christians, we believe in one God anyway. The Trinity does not mean we have many gods, you idiot. They don't even know what they are talking about. Trinity does not mean three gods. We are the monotheistic, not you. Not you, Abdul. The best of the creators. Go. Tell us more.
For example, right? For example, you know, Abraham, peace be upon him, who we consider as a mighty prophet. You know, one time, a good news was given to Abraham. And this is in the Genesis, book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse number 3. A good news came to Abraham to pray to God and to thank God. Abraham prostrated himself. And he said, you know, he was worshiping the one creator. He was
just to show you why we love, why this guy don't dare even to say hello to me. If we go to Genesis, let us go to Genesis. And then we will make you cry like a potato. From the first sentence in Genesis, it says the word Elohim. Elohim is a plural word. The first sentence in Genesis, it says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. What the word God here is? Elohim. Gods. With S. And the earth was without form and void, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. So now we have God the Father, we have God the Spirit appear right away in the first page of Genesis. This guy, he said, if you go to Genesis 17, the Muslims are very good in jumping, but let us go to Genesis 17, shall we? He jumped to verse number 3. And Abraham fell on his face, and God talked with him. But why you don't tell us how God spoke to Abraham? When Abraham was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abraham. By the way, his name here is Abram. God changed his name by adding the letter H, which is Ha, which is present the Spirit of God. So he changed his name and the name of his wife, Sarai to Sarah, Abram to Abraham. So God, he appeared into Abraham. The Abdul, he said to you, Abraham, he fell to his face and he worshiped one God. But how God appeared to Abraham? Remember, the Muslim, they reject God to be a man or to appear as a man. As long as you accept Genesis and you are quoting for them Genesis, then let us skip one chapter, 18. The Lord appeared to him. How he appeared to him? You see, Muslims, I warn you Christians, every Muslim is a certified liar. Every Muslim is a satanic man. Every Muslim is wicked, and especially the religious ones. Do Sabeel Ahmed, you think, knew that God came to Abraham as a man? Is it possible that he saw and he found a verse in Genesis 17 that Abraham worshiping God, but he did not see how Abraham saw God? Remember, the Bible make it clear, nobody can see God and live. What does that mean? Nobody can see God the way he is and live. No human being. But Abraham, he saw God. And here you will see something unique about number 3. So the first time God appeared to Abraham, 3 men came to him. Do you see it? Are you with me? 3 men. Like, is it showtime? Are they going to perform like maybe dancing or something? Why 3? Out of the blue, like, you know, what? Why not 4? Why God not alone? 3. So from the beginning, the number 3 appear in the Bible. And this is about God coming to who? To Abraham. And then we can go and see what Jesus said about this. Who is the one who came to Abraham? God. It's in front of you. Abraham, he spoke to him and he say, my Lord, if now I have found favor in sight, pass not away, I pray thee from the servant. And then the Lord, he blessed him, and you can read the rest of the story. But Jesus, let us go to John 8. because now we will find out who is the one who came to Abraham. This is John 8, and here the Messiah, he spoke about Abraham. The Jews, they said to Yeshua, the answer were saying to him, Abraham is our father. Yeshua said to them, if you were children of Abraham, you would have been doing the works of Abraham. But now behold, you are seeking to kill me. I am a man who have spoken the truth with you, which I have heard from God. This is Abraham did not do, but you are doing the deeds of your father. They were saying to him, we are not from fornication, and we have one father, God. Yeshua said to them, if God were your father, you should have loved me, for I have proceeded from God. Proceeded from where? From God, and have not come to my own pleasure, but he has sent me. And why do you not understand my word? It is because you cannot hear my words. You are from your father the devil, and the desire of your father you are willing to do. From the beginning he was been a murderer, murdering men, and does not stand the truth, because there is no truth in him. Whoever he speak a lie, he speaks from what he is, because he is of falsehood like Allah, and also it is Father. But you are not believing in me, I whom speak in the truth. Who among you convinced me of sin? Jesus now is delivering his nature. I am not like you. I am holy. I am sin-free. I am your God. And if I speak the truth, why do you not believe me? Whoever is from God hears God's words. Therefore you are not hearing, because you are not from God. The Jews answered, and they were saying to him, are we not saying correctly that you are Samaritan and have a demon in you? Yeshua said to them, a demon is not in me, but I honor my Father, and you dishonor me. But I am not seeking my glory. There is one who seek and judge. Timeless truth, I speak to you. Whoever keep my word shall never see death. Jesus just said now, he's God. Whoever keep my words, he will never see death. The Jews, they were saying to him, now that a demon is in you, Abraham is dead, the prophet, and you are saying whoever keeps my word shall never taste death. So they thought he is saying, if you keep my words, you will not die. And they said to him, even Abraham, he died. What are you talking about? Are you greater than our father Abraham? Are you greater than our father Abraham, who died, and the prophet who have died? Who are you making yourself? This is a very important question. The Jews asking Jesus, Yeshua, who are you claim to be? Look what he said. And that will be a connection now to what this Abdul speak about Abraham. Yeshua said to them, if I glorify myself, my glories is nothing. It is my Father who glorify me. He whom you say, he is your God. Jesus just said, my Father is your God. and you do not know him, but I know him. And if I had said that I do not know him, I myself would have been a liar like you. But I do know him, and I keep his words. Abraham, your father, Abraham, your father, desired to see my day, and he saw it and rejoiced. Jesus just said, I am the one who appeared to Abraham. The Jews, they were saying to him, you are not yet 50 years old, and you have seen Abraham? Yeshua said to them, timeless truth, I speak to you. Before Abraham would exist, I am the living God. They picked up stones to stone him, which means to kill him. So who is the one who came to Abraham and he rejoiced when he saw his day? So when this Abdul, he say, the Trinity never appear and Abraham never worship Trinity, Abraham, he bowed down in front of 3 men. In front of 3 men. Speaking to the 3 men in the same time saying, my God. Do you see it? Adonai. So when this stupid Abdul, he claimed that in the Old Testament the Trinity is not exist, that is a big fat lie. Those Muslims are not only pagan black stone kissers, shaitan worshippers, pedophile followers, they are wicked liars when they speak about our book. And what you expect? Do you expect from the wicked who follow a pedophile to be a good person? Do you expect a person who defends a pedophile to be a good person? Do you? If you expect any goodness on them, that means you are a fool. You know, when somebody speaks to us, like if we ask the Muslims, there's many things they use in their books, they stole it from us, but they don't know what they are. Like if you ask a Muslim, what is the Holy Spirit? They will say to you, is Jibreel. The Holy Spirit became an angel. How? How the Holy Spirit is an angel? This is what Muhammad, because he's a thief, he sat with the Jews, he learned from the Jews some stories. So when, you know, in the Bible we have stories where the angels of the Lord, the angel of the Lord, which is God, coming as an angel, but he's God. Muhammad, he told them the Holy Spirit is an angel. The Holy Spirit, from the beginning of the Old Testament, exists in the form of a creation, which means in the the word is not correct, form of creation, like in the process of creation. So when God created the earth and the heaven, we see right away the Holy Spirit is participating in the creation. This is what we see in Genesis 1:2. So from the beginning, we see this. Let us go to 1. This is the beginning. God created the earth and the heaven. He did not create the spirit. Notice carefully. He created the earth and the heaven. And the Spirit of God. What spirit? Of God. This is not a creation. This is God's Spirit. The Bible makes it so clear that God is a spirit anyway. And guess what? This is stupid Abdul who speak about God and the Trinity and Tawhid. His God is not spirit. So how the Muslim they say they believe in Abraham? The God of Abraham is a spirit. The God of Muhammad is not a spirit. So do we really worship the same God? Absolutely not. You know, it's funny when a Muslim he tried to present himself that he have God, he have religion, when the fact Islam is just a collection of stupid stories. In the best scenario, it's like somebody, 10 people writing books, and each one of them is like they have a window on a courtyard, and then they have their windows open, and then a strong wind blow all the papers on their tables in each one of them rooms. So now the papers are mixed outside in the courtyard. Muhammad, he go out in the courtyard, he put all the papers together and he made them one book. So when we say sorry, when a Muslim he speak about God, you need to remember the first thing. Muslim God is not a spirit. Period. If we go as an example, not limited. Let us go to Isaiah. Let us go to Isaiah when he finished his sentence and see, and we go there and we will see more.
Was not worshipping Trinity. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 43.
He just mentioned Isaiah. That's wonderful. I mean, I was going to talk about Isaiah. Here we go. He just mentioned Isaiah. All right.
Chapter 45. It speaks about God's only oneness. That
here you see, guys, is it possible that this guy, he did read Isaiah? Chapter 45.
When the Jewish people asked Moses the question,
Moses
3, chapter 40.
Is it possible that this person, he read only from Isaiah, chapter 45, only verse number 5 and 6? Is that possible? Let us go there and get him busted. Here this is Isaiah 42. We will go to Isaiah 45, the one he mentioned. And here right away you will see the Spirit of God. It's so clear in the Bible. It's all over in Old Testament and the New Testament. God is a spirit. Let us go to Isaiah 45. Let us play the audio actually for easier.
Chapter 45. Thus says the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have held, to subdue nations before him, and loose the armor of kings, to open before him the double doors, so that the gates will not be shut. I will go before you, and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of bronze, and cut the bars of iron. I will give you the treasures of darkness, and hidden riches of secret places, that you may know that I, the Lord, who call you by your name, am the God of Israel. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect, I have even called you by your name. I have named you, though you have not known me. I am the Lord, and there is no other.
Okay. So guys, look here what this potato he just said. He claimed that when the verse says here, there's no God beside me, it means there's no Trinity. But isn't it the Trinity is about one God? You see how they lie? Isaiah himself, he spoke about the Messiah as God. So is it possible that this potato, he never read what Isaiah said about Jesus? Let us see. This is the book of Isaiah, and it's very important book for us because it have a lot of messages and a lot of prophecies about Jesus. The same book prophesied multiple times about the Messiah. If we go to Isaiah 9, we will hear the following. I'm trying just to close some browsers, too many browsers open.
Chapter 9. Nevertheless, the gloom will not be upon her who is distressed, as when at first he lightly esteemed the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterward more heavily oppressed her, by the way of the sea, beyond the Jordan, in Galilee of the Gentiles. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who dwelt in the land of the shadow of death, upon them a light has shined. You have multiplied the nation, and increased its joy. They rejoice before you according to the joy of harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. For you have broken the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian. For every warrior's sandal from the noisy battle, and garments rolled in blood, will be used for burning and fuel of fire. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder, and his name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace.
Oh boy.
Of the increase of his government and peace there will be no end, upon the throne of David and over his kingdom, to order it and establish it with judgment and justice from that time forward, even forever.
Forever.
The zeal of the Lord of...
Hold on. So this is stupid Sabeel Ahmed. Is it possible he do not know what Isaiah prophesied about Jesus, the son who is going to be a child born into us? A son is given, and government will be upon his shoulder. His name will be called Wonderful. Only God is wonderful. Counselor, God is my counselor. Mighty God is God. Only God is mighty God. There's other gods? Nobody. Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And his government will be, there's no end for it. Is it possible that Sabeel Ahmed, who is quoting for us Isaiah, who says that God, he said, I am your Lord and there's no others beside me, no others gods beside me? We don't believe in other gods, you idiot. We believe in one God. Even your Quran confirmed that Trinity is believing in one God. Liar will end in fire.
5, it speaks about God's only oneness, that you are the first, you are the last. There is no one besides you. When the Jewish people asked Moses the question about who is God, Moses, he said in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse number 4, that hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is only one.
Here you see how the Muslim, he trapped himself, because what Moses says, O Israel, your God is Echad, not one. The word one is not mentioned. It's Echad. Echad mean unity. Do you see how stupid Muslims are? Echad is a unity. This is why when the Muslims, they say they believe in Tawhid, they are trying to copy the Jews' statement of Echad. Muhammad, we mentioned Tawhid, he is taking the word unity. And we have a many example of that. When a man, he marry a woman, they will become what? Echad. Correct? When a man, he marry a woman, they will become one as Echad. Not one person. They are two person. The woman is a woman, the man is a man, they are two. But by marriage, by marriage, the two, they become one. So when this potato, he mentioned this verse, he just bust his religion. You do not need to be genius. You can go right now to Prophet ChatGPT, peace be upon him, or Google, and you will see that the word Echad appear in the Bible to mean compound of unity. It means one in the same time, but it's not one person. And here it shows you examples. He quote for us Genesis, Deuteronomy, chapter 6:4. But even the stupid internet knew what Echad here present. Do you see why I say Muslims are wicked and they lie? Is it possible this guy who he claimed trying to refute Christianity, he do not know that Echad does not mean one person? Genesis 2:24, Adam and Eve together are called Echad. I don't use this NIV translation, have a lot of errors in it. So I skipped this fast translation. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother to join to his wife, and she will become Echad in flesh. If you don't believe that this is really Echad, you can go to the Orthodox Jews translation, and you will see this is Echad. Do you see it? Are we following together? So when this potato he claimed that in the Deuteronomy speaking about your God is one, is true, but one as Echad, as unity, multiple person, not one as a one person. This is Echad. Liars. And by the way, there's many verses in the Bible about Echad. It's not only the only places. You will see it all over the place. We can show you more examples of such a thing. Like here. We have Khalid, he's a Muslim. Let us see what Khalid want to say to us.
السلام على من اتبع الهدى.
He's saying salam to those who follow Huda. Who is Huda, Khalid?
I don't know the exact meaning in English, but I think you can translate it.
Yeah, but who is Huda? He said, peace to those who follow Huda. Huda is the name of a woman, right?
No.
So what Huda mean?
You know it.
I know it for sure, but I'm trying to see if you know what you are talking about. What Huda mean?
I know.
What Huda mean?
Okay. Can I know your name أو ممكن أعرف اسمك؟
Christian.
طيب مسيحي يعني. تمام. دلوقتي
English please, because
يعني
the audience Khalid, the audience they speak English, so please speak English. Only if it is no, I don't want to translate to you, because you might say I'm not translating correctly. So you speak English.
If you said anything incorrect, I will try to.
As long you understand, as long you speak English and you can even know if I am saying something not correctly translated, that means you know English very well. So speak English, please. Go ahead.
My English is not very well.
It's fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. We are not here to do tests for your English. As long as we understand, we're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. I just get invited by one of your followers to ask you some question, but I don't have time for now. I'm in the bed right now. But you said something when I just entered this room. You said the Quran is proof the Trinity.
Yeah, not proving the Trinity as a Trinity like the way we believe in it, because your prophet did not know what we believe in according to the Trinity of the Quran.
As you said the Quran.
The Quran proved that 3 and 1 is true, because the Quran says that the Messiah is the word of Allah, and he is a messenger of Allah as a man, and he is a spirit of Allah. 3 and 1.
Do you know what the Mu'tazila is?
I don't care what is Mu'tazila. I'm talking about your Quran. Is your Quran Mu'tazila now?
The Mu'tazila said the Quran is not the word of Allah.
I don't care. Are you a Mu'tazila?
No,
so why you are mentioning to me? Why you are mentioning to me? Who care about
what does word of Allah mean?
You tell me, what does the word of Allah mean?
Everything Allah said in the Quran.
No, he is his word. He is his word. In fact, one of the names of the Messiah in Islam is Kalimatullah wa ruhuhu. Correct?
Wa ruhun min.
Wa ruhuhu.
Wa ruhun min.
Okay, the Quran says ruhun min. What ruhun min mean? Go ahead.
Spirit from him.
All right.
Like I said, like something. Just for example, I have nail in my hand. If I cut my nail and I give it to you, it's not my. It's not my whole body or my whole personality.
So when
I think I can give it to you, like you learn a course. That mean you take all the person that teach you the course, everything he knows. It's not the same.
Listen.
روح من وليس روحه.
Guys, he just said, so if I say that the Messiah is Ruhullah, is it correct or wrong? Wrong. Thank you very much. So guys, he said, if I say the Messiah is Ruh Allah, Ruh mean so spirit of Allah. Spirit. Ruh is a Hebrew word. He said this is wrong. This is Ibn Kathir in the front of your eyes. Look like you know better than Ibn Kathir. And this is your prophet speaking, saying that the Messiah is Ruhullah. Read it.
Where is it? Give me a minute.
You see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So
you are right. You are right. Here is Ruhullah.
No, a second ago you were schooling me, saying this is wrong, this is not right, and this is not cannot be.
I agree for that. You didn't misleading the people about the word, but here is
no. You said to me. You were schooling me about what Ruhullah mean. I said he is Ruhullah. You said no, he is Ruhun minhu. You said that. It's recorded.
It's the same thing.
No, a second ago it was, guys. A second ago it was not the same thing. A second after it's the same thing. So why you were schooling me just less than 30 seconds ago? You were schooling me about it is not right to say that. It's wrong. And I asked you, is it wrong or right? You said to me, it's wrong.
I'm sorry. You're
all right. So now we have a problem, because according to you, 30 seconds ago, this cannot be right. Why? Because he is now the spirit of Allah, not a spirit from Allah. He is the spirit of Allah. How we can fix this problem?
Okay. Can I speak?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the word I said before about I didn't said it. No, I said that there is a difference between Ruh al-Min and Ruh Allah. But here I don't know what this talking about.
What
This
well, no, what why you refused in the beginning? When you refused, I guess you understand why you refuse. You refuse to accept that Jesus is the Spirit of Allah because that will make him Allah. This is why you said no, he is a spirit from Allah. Okay, so correct, guys. He said yeah. So he agree with me. So if Jesus is the Spirit of Allah, that means he is God. So
No,
yeah, he's a Spirit of Allah. He's Allah.
I am. Please, Mr. Christian Prince. I just need to you to get the like Camus from Sibaway or something about the meaning.
My friend Sibaway is my student. Who hear about? Is you Sibaway now? Is your God now? We are talking about Quran. I'm showing you Ibn Kathir. Now you want to go to Sibaway? Who's Sibaway? How he's doing now these days? What does have to do with this? Ruhullah.
I don't know what
Ruhullah. How many Ruh Allah he have?
But there is difference between men Ruh.
No, it's not min. It says he is Ruhullah. He is Ruhullah, not minhu. Here it's so clear. It says Ruhullah.
But why he now add and his word, not and the word of God? Don't know. But he adds his word, not the word of Allah.
Yeah, because you see, Jesus, he have all the description and all the quality of God. He is the Spirit of God.
Can you read this hadith for me, because I don't know what's the context of it.
This is Ibn Kathir. Supposedly, you're a prophet. In the day of judgment, he will make some statement. And then here, it says here, Musa says, Musa kalimullah wa qala qail, Isa ruhullah wa kalimatahu. Wa qala qail, Ibrahim khalilullahi awahum yadhkurun. So, Isa is the Spirit of Allah and he is his word. That means the Messiah, he have three in one person himself. He is the Messiah as a man. He is the Messiah as a man. And he is the Spirit of God, yet he is a man. And he is, not he is from, he is himself. He is the Word of God, yet he is a man. How the Messiah can be three and one in the same time, and those three, what make God, God. If one of them is missing...
Can you get any valid translate about what you said?
What?
But I'm not a very good debater, but I think you are wrong in understand the meaning of the word.
It's not up to you, my friend. It is not up to you. It's not up to me. What do you mean understand, misunderstand? This is what it says. Everyone in Islam have description. The Messiah only is Muhammad is the word of Allah and the Spirit of Allah. The answer is no. Correct? Correct?
I want to know what's the meaning of Ruh Allah mean to you, and what
isn't it funny that you are a Muslim? So you as a Muslim, what Ruh Allah mean for you?
Ruh Allah, it's can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
A small one, easy one. Did God create the soul, or God have a soul?
God is a spirit. There's a soul and there's a spirit. Soul is God creation gave to give life. So when God created Adam, he gave him a soul. That is a soul. The spirit is God's spirit, and this is not created. So I have a soul, you have a soul, but we are not. So this is why in a Christian, when he get baptized, he received the Holy Spirit. So a Christian person within him.
Depends on what your understanding. You get it depends on what.
What?
What's the where are you get this meaning from?
This is my belief. This is not. You ask me. I'm Christian. I'm answering you. I'm not a Buddha. I'm a Christian, so I'm answering you.
I know you're a Christian, but as a Muslim, we have a different understanding for the Quran.
No, you cannot have different understanding because your prophet, he took that from us. As an example, the Quran says the Holy Spirit. What is the Holy Spirit? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Are you thinking? What is the Holy Spirit?
Ruh al-Qudus.
What is it? What is that? Yeah, what is that?
Ruh al-Qudus, we refer it to Jibreel.
Nowhere in the Quran it says this is Jibreel. Secondly, how Jibreel?
And you know where in the Quran about how we can pray the exact not the prayer, the ablution or
you can say in Arabic. Say in Arabic so I can understand. I will translate.
الوضوء.
Ablution. Okay.
Yeah.
So what about ablution?
The هيئة the الوضوء not in the Quran full of it, but
no problem, my friend. The question is, if the Holy Spirit is called holy, that means it's God.
Yeah.
Holy is God. Angels in Islam are not holy. Is that true?
What?
The angels in Islam are not holy. الروح القدس. القدس mean holy. المقدس, correct?
But Allah mentioned about the Bayt al-Muqaddas, I think.
Exactly, because supposedly Allah was there. This is why it is a holy city. So when you say when you say this is spirit is holy. This is spirit. There's only one spirit. There's only one spirit is holy. Why? In Islam, only one spirit is holy. Why? Yeah, why? There's many spirit. If Jibreel is an angel, that means all the angels are spirits.
No.
Thank you very much. Guys, he just said, he said, only Jibreel is a spirit. False.
Not a spirit. He have a special born from Allah.
That's another question. Why, if Jibreel is the Holy Spirit, why he is called the Holy Spirit? Is the rest are dirty? Is the rest of the angels are dirty? So why he is the Holy Spirit?
We can't ask Allah.
I can. No, I can. Because simply the Quran says clearly that the angels of Allah are a bunch of liars. Isn't it Allah in the Quran? When the angels, they question Allah, are you going to create a human being who will do blood, shed a mischievement? He said to them, after he taught Adam all the names, he said to them, tell me the names of those things if you are truthful. In kuntum sadiqeen. If you are truthful, tell me the name. So, are they truthful? The Quran say no. So the angels of Allah are a bunch of liars, all of them.
What is this understanding? How you get it?
Chapter 2, verse number 31. وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضهم على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين. إن كنتم صادقين. So is the angels are truthful or a bunch of liars according to Quran? They are liars.
It's exactly the mean, like you argue with me in something and I tell you, did you know what the true meaning?
My friend, this is the
And
true
you
meaning.
didn't.
Allah said to them, if you are truthful, you should be able to tell me the names. But they could not tell the names. They
God
could.
didn't teach them what he teach Adam in this time.
Don't go to Adam now. Here, Adam
No,
was
it's
accused.
Adam.
While Adam was accused by the angels. He would do mischievement. Allah got angry. So he wanted to show them that they do not know the future. So he taught Adam all the names, which is very funny because what does have to do with knowing the future? If I name my cat Susu and I ask you what is the name of my cat and you could not answer, that's not me knowing the future. I am the one who gave her the name. So it should be the opposite. He should ask you in your heart to name the cat a name. Don't tell me, and then I will tell you. That will make that he is a person who knows what is in the heart, what is in the unseen. So Allah, he named things to prove that they are wrong. This is funny and so stupid. But however, even though Allah, he named all the things and he showed it to Adam, he taught the names, and then he placed those things in the front of the angels, and he said to them, tell me the names of those things if you are truthful. They could not. That means what is the answer? They are not truthful. If they could not tell the names, they are not truthful. And what does that mean? They are a bunch of liars. So if the angel is not truthful, how Jibreel is the Holy Spirit?
With big respect, I disagree with you in this
It's not,
understanding.
my friend, you have to refute me. You have to refute me.
I have another understanding in this question.
You have to refute me, my friend. You have to refute me not by saying I have other understanding. The word is Arabic clear, and you speak Arabic. It says if you are truthful, in kuntum sadiqin. If I say to you, okay, tell me the names of those things. أخبرني بالأسماء يا رجل إن كنت صادق. فإن فشلت بإخبار أسماء فأنت لست بصادق. Tell me the names.
ولست كاذب في نفس الوقت. يعني ايه اللي يخليني كاذب؟
Because Allah يا رجل ربك هو الذي قال أنهم غير صادقين. أنت تسأل ما الذي جعلهم غير صادقين؟ يعني هل تسخر من الله الآن؟ No, Allah, he said that. He said if you are truthful, tell me the names. So
why he use if you are truthful, not just use you are bunch of liars and you don't understand anything.
Yeah. What if they are truthful? What the opposite of truthful? Liars.
I know what's the opposite of truthful.
So what Allah accused them of? If they could not tell the names, my friend, if they could not tell the names, they are untruthful.
I agree with you in your understanding. You have a valid understanding.
This is not my understanding. This is not my understanding. It's very clear in front of you. If you are truthful, So if they are truthful, they should know the name. They said we do not know them. So they are not truthful.
Can you open Tafsir Ibn Kathir?
Do you accept Ibn Kathir? You accept Ibn Kathir? No. Tell me, do you accept Ibn Kathir?
Not everything.
So you don't agree with Ibn Kathir too? So every Muslim have his own understanding for the Quran? What does that mean? He's laughing too. He's funny.
You use the same method. The Christian use when
no, we don't use this method or that method. We don't have Ibn Kathir. For us, the Bible is our book, and if the Bible could not explain itself, then the book of God is a failure. So your God himself, he is saying clearly in a clear Arabic, if you are truthful, and yet you want Ibn Kathir to explain to you what Allah He explained, and supposedly, isn't it the Quran says that this is a book, we made it so clear. So if Allah made it so clear, why Allah He need Ibn Kathir?
The same thing you, I swear to God, the same thing Christian tells the Muslim when they told talk about their book.
No,
the same
no,
thing
no,
you did here.
no.
Because you didn't open the tafsir.
Listen, listen. We do not need we do not need the tafsir. We do not need the tafsir. When Jesus was speaking to the people, He did not tell them read the tafsir. He is the interpretation of it. He is the explanation. So thus do we explain the signs in details. وَكَذَلِكَ نُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ. So Allah He made the Quran clear for you. Why you cannot understand?
Can you continue that?
What about continue what?
The verse, the whole verse.
وَكَذَلِكَ نُفَصِّلُ الْآيَاتِ لِتَسْتَبِينَ سَبِيلَ الْمُجْرِمِينَ.
ولتستبين سبيل المجرمين. What does that mean?
So you can recognize the wrong and the right.
وكذلك نفصل الآيات ولتستبين سبيل المجرمين.
So Allah He explained to you the Quran, so you understand it, and
in Arabic. If you go to any شخص يعني صغير أو واحد جاهل بعض الشيء بأي حاجة باللغة العربية وسألته يعني إيه ولتستبين يعني إيه what is this
to figure out to figure out so you understand to figure out. Do you want me to open Ibn Kathir for you? What's wrong with you? Huh?
Okay, open it.
Okay, here we go.
It's not a big win or big lose. I just
my friend, you are just making mockery. You are just making mockery of your religion now. You know, you are just making fun of your religion. So this is your religion. This is your religion. This is Ibn Kathir. This is okay.
They're saying I'm not a good debater.
So this is Ibn Kathir. This is Ibn Kathir. Read it. There's nothing there.
Because you do you create a statement about me. I'm not a valid debater. I'm not a good person to debate you. Or I'm not a good in Arabic at all. I'm just speaking العامية المصرية.
Okay. All right, my friend, you go, you fuel your gas and you get ready and come back, or you can bring a shake with you. You are welcome.
No, I can learn from you. I can take notes.
Yeah, but what I would do with you each time I say to you, you say do not know. I have no idea what I would do. So there's no point.
I think if you always talk with this humble and respect without any insult, because some Christian just insult the Prophet Muhammad and God without any just for fun. And you talk like this.
Khalid, you Muslims keep insulting the Christians day and night. The Quran says the Christians are even worse than animals. So if the Christians they insult your prophet, it's very normal. It's very normal because your prophet is insulting us. He started insulting.
Mr. Christian, it's the same statement you did about your book when a Muslim said. In the same book, the Quran said about the Christian, ولتجدن أقرب الناس مودة الذين قالوا إننا نصارى.
Yeah, but he said that the Christians are kuffar and they are liars and they are
the same book. And why you don't take the
no Muhammad said that. Muhammad said that for political reason. He was trying to make the Christian not to worry about him so he can defeat and finish the Jews first. After he finished the Jews, he said go and fight and kill the Christians and make them pay jizya like dogs.
Okay.
You're a prophet. Your prophet said. Your prophet said, when you meet a Christian, you have
Mr. Christian Prince, you just take what you need to take, and you throw anything in the book to validate what statement you have.
take what your prophet said. Your prophet says when you meet a Christian, you have to insult him and you have to force him to walk in the sewage. So don't now play victim and say we Christians are insulting your prophet. Your
We are
prophet
not
discriminated millions of Christians, and the land you are living in, this is not your land. This is the land of the Coptic. The land you live in, is not even your land. This is the land of the Coptic. You treated them like dogs. You forced them to pay jizya. You killed millions of them, and now you are worrying about insulting your prophet. And this is your prophet, Abu Hurairah, the father of the cats. He said, don't greet the Jews and the Christians before they greet you. And when you meet any one of them, force them to walk in the narrowest part of it, which is the sewage. This is your prophet. Do you agree that you should force me? If you see me in Egypt in the street, you have to force me to walk in the sewage? Is that what God teaching you? Is that what good manner is?
The same thing. You just choose what you need to validate
I choose this. This is what your prophet said. What do you mean I chose? I chose. Yeah, this is what your prophet said.
Why? Okay, the same prophet said, ستفتحون أرضا يذكر فيها الكرام فاستوصوا بأهلها خير.
Yeah, because he was having sex with Mary the Copt.
Okay. Why is now you said that?
Yeah, is that why the Muslim you're a prophet, he owned your prophet, he owned. Did your prophet listen? Did your prophet have a slave? She is an Egyptian Coptic, yes or no?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Is he why he is receiving mail from Amazon as gift of slaves? If he Muslim, they keep lying to us. They say Islam is against slavery. So why Muhammad receive a box? Inside the box, the whole family of Mary the Copt, her cousins and her sisters.
Slavery is valid in Islam until now. And I can tell you something. Dr. Mohammed, I just forget his name. He said the slavery is Islam didn't
abolished.
Tahrim the slavery.
Okay.
Because every nation, when any nation get in war against any other, they take a slavery from each nation. And if Islam make tahrim on slavery in this world, the power of freedom from go in a war with Muslim will be less than anything.
But you see, Islam not only did not forbid slavery until now, Islam encourages slavery. Your prophet, he used to kidnap women from their husbands. Even the Quran says it's forbidden for you women who they are married, except the married women who they are captured by you. So Muhammad and his friends, they used to make a business and money out of slavery, and he used to sell and buy slaves and rape slaves, to the point when the Muslim men came to him and they said, but those women, we know their husband, they are our friends, shall we rape them? He said, so what? Rape them, even if they are married and their husband is alive. Your religion, chapter 4, verse 24.
والمحصنات من النساء إلا ما ملكت أيمانكم كتاب الله عليكم وأحل لكم ما وراء ذلك أن تتبعوا أن تبتغوا بأموالكم محصنين غير مسافحين فما استمتعتم به منهن فأتوهن أجورهن فريضة ولا جناح عليكم فيما تراضيتم به من بعد الفريضة إن الله كان عليم حكيم. What does this mean for your statement?
It is not forbidden you to have sex with married women. It says that in the front of you. You can have sex with married women. What is your sect, Khalid?
إلا ما ملكت أيمانكم.
What is your sect?
Sect.
Sect.
What is
هل أنت مالكي أشعري حنيفة ماذا؟
I don't have a sect.
You don't have a sect. Your prophet, he says, my people will be 73 sect. You have to be one of them.
Yeah. You can tell me Sunni, just Sunni.
You are not Hanafi?
No.
What Sunni mean?
Who follows the son of messenger of Allah.
Okay, I want to tell you a story. I have a cousin. He always takes shower with dead dogs and women blood from period, and garbage is in the bathtub. Should I follow his steps or I should not?
You should not.
Why I should not? What's wrong?
Because I don't know how I can validate your statement about your cousin.
Well, he is very dirty. He takes shower with dead dogs. He like it, dead dogs. He bring dead dogs. He put them in the shower tub, and his wife, she do menstruation. He claimed that this is a shampoo, nice shampoo for him. Dead dogs. He mixed them together. Dead dogs and women blood from menstruation and stinky garbage. He put them in the shower tub. He mixed them together. He jumped in the middle. Is that healthy? Should we follow the steps of my cousin, or we should follow the steps of Muhammad?
I tell you something. You can follow whatever you want to follow.
No, I'm asking you advice, my friend. I'm asking you advice. Should we follow the steps of my cousin, who he take a shower with dead dogs and women blood from period and stinky garbage, or we follow the steps of a Prophet Muhammad?
If you go to worship a rat, I don't mind. Go and worship.
I'm asking you, my friend, why you don't want to answer? Which one you think is the okay? Do you like to take a shower with dead dogs in the bathtub? Dead dogs?
For sure, no.
Why not?
My religion teach me not.
What do you mean? Like, is that because it's so dirty?
Not that so dirty. Like in Sunnah, when you eat a camel, you have to make ablution after eating a camel, except to eat a cow or something like that. You don't have to do.
So if you eat a camel, you have to do ablution. Why, if you eat a camel, you have to do ablution? Is the camel dirty?
My prophet, I trust my prophet, and my prophet tell me so.
But isn't it the camel is a shaitan?
My prophet told me to do something. I have to do what he.
I'm asking you, why you eat the camel if the camel is shaitan?
I don't don't say camel is shaitan.
I say that, and I believe that camel is made from shaitan, and you are eating, you are eating camel. So shaitan, you are eating shaitan.
You can think whatever you need.
No, are you saying I'm wrong? I think shaitan is a camel. Camel is shaitan. So I think camel. This is why he look weird. He have this pimple in his back. Did you see the pimple in his back? This is shaitan. So the shaitan and the camel is one person. And you Muslim, you eat shaitan by eating the camel. What do you think? How you answer me?
Yeah, better than follow him.
So you eat shaitan, you have no problem.
Better than follow him every
but if you are eating shaitan, you are following shaitan. You love, yum yum. You eat shaitan, you enjoy eating shaitan. Shaitan inside. Here we go. You're a prophet, he said. You're a prophet, he says. Perform prayer in a sheep's resting place, and do not perform prayer in the camel resting place, for they were created from the devils.
Mm.
الإبل خلقت من الشياطين. So why you are eating it?
طب أنا هسألك سؤال بسيط. Very good question.
Hmm.
When God created Hawa, Eve from Adam,
Hmm.
did this mean Eve is Adam?
Yes, in the Bible, Adam and Eve both are called Adam.
No,
Adam is a
I
word,
talk
my friend. Adam, a word meaning human.
I talk about the Sunnah. The Prophet said Eve is created from the doll or
Hey, what does have to do with my topic? Why we are eating the camel if the camel is a shaitan?
what is from me?
What? From mean? From mean
Yeah.
she is part of from the part of Adam. She is created. So they have one body. They have the same flesh. That's what from mean. They are not two different species. They are the same species. Both are
No,
human.
they are
Both are human. According to Muslims, if somebody eat pork, he's a pig. You Muslims eat shaitan, so you are shaitan. It says in front of you that shaitan, that camel is created from shaitan. It's forbidden for you to pray in their place.
Pig is a pig.
Huh?
Who said who is eat pig is a pig?
Muslim, they say that. I heard many Muslims saying that to me, that the one who eat pig, he became a pig.
No, we
No?
said pig and monkey and grandchildren for the Jew, as you know.
Yeah. The Quran says that.
Yeah.
So do you believe the Jews are grandchildren of the monkeys? The Jews?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is the proof that you have that those Jews in Israel, they are the grandsons of the monkeys? And what kind of monkeys? Chimpanzees? Like what kind of monkeys? How you know? What is the proof that the Jews they are coming from monkeys?
I'm not said all the Jews, but
Most of the Jews are coming from monkeys. Yeah. So, but how you know that the Jews are coming from monkeys? What is the proof?
my Quran.
But your Quran is a stupid book.
Okay, well, your book too. Can you
No,
prove?
because simply
Can
you
you
cannot.
prove
Hold
Ibrahim?
on, listen.
Can you
You
prove
just
Ibrahim?
mentioned to me. You just mentioned to me
Can
that
you prove who is John
God
and
created Adam.
Matthew and
Khalid.
Luca and
You said
whatever?
God created Adam and Eve, and then you jump suddenly. You say to me the Jews are from monkeys, but isn't it the Jews are the children of Israel? How they are from monkey? Is Israel a monkey?
No, not every. I said not every Jew is
Who
a
are they?
grandchildren
Who are
of.
the Jewish who they are monkeys now?
It's my belief.
Where we can find them? Like where in the Amazon and jungles? Where we can find those monkeys?
In Israel right now.
Where in Israel?
They will get fucked soon.
They will get fucked. They will get fucked.
Yeah.
I don't know. The one is getting fucked is the Muslims. Don't you see what's happening? They defeat you everywhere.
Okay, I know.
You know. So who is getting fucked? Who is getting fucked?
The Muslim now. I'm really have a open open heart for you. Yes, we get fucked from everyone right now.
Yeah, for everyone, exactly.
Yeah, not just Israel in the Middle East.
Yeah, everybody.
Every Muslim leader and European leader and everyone in the world kick the Muslim and try to make them weak.
But the Muslims are weak since the beginning of time, my friend. Don't you know that Muslims Yeah. Islam is weak too.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's for sure. Even your prophet, he says in Sahih Muslim 146 that Islam will become so strange and will shrink and go back like a serpent goes inside the hole. Your prophet says that Islam is going to die.
Okay, and my prophet said also طوي لي الأرض ورأيت مغربها ومشرقها وقد دخل الإسلام إلى كل بيت.
Your prophet is
معنى
a
الحديث.
yeah, Islam enter every house, but we are joking, we are laughing at it.
No problem, no problem. Everyone has a different heart or
No
different
problem.
mind.
Okay, listen. I like I like talking to you. You sound like a person we can have a conversation together. Can you give me one thing so good about Muhammad or about Islam? Just one thing. You can, but something you can prove, not something you can say whatever. Something you can prove. Something so good and you can prove.
Yeah, some so good and can prove.
Mhm.
Everyone in Islam is equal.
Is what? Equal?
Is equal in belief.
That's false. Isn't it the heaven is seven floor and each floor is 100 floor? So how that equal? Each one of you will go to different floor. If you are equal in belief, then why every one of you have different grade and different
Equal in
reward?
belief. What is I mean the difference between we are all brother. The difference between us, black and white and red and all the
But
human being.
isn't it
The
your
difference
but
is
isn't it your prophet said, this is Allah actually said to him, that when Allah created the black, he created them to go to hell?
What does that mean?
All the black will go to hell according to your your religion.
I said to you, you use the same statement that Christians use when they get stuck in any debate with a Muslim. When they said, where is the tafsir? I need the tafsir of the hadith.
Okay. This is your God speaking about how he created white people and black people. He said the white people created from the right shoulder of Adam. A right shoulder mean the good ones. The left present the bad ones. So when Allah created the white ones, he created them from the right shoulder of Adam. And then he hid the left shoulder of Adam, and the black offspring came out. And he said to the one who they are from the left shoulder, you go to hell and I don't care. Those are the black. And he said to the ones who they are from the right shoulder, you go to paradise and I don't care. So your God, you said to me that black or white, everybody is equal. That is a big fat lie, because in Islam, black go to hell, white go to heaven.
Where is in Islam?
This is your prophet talking.
Okay, you said it's God talking now.
What's your talk? What do you? This is your prophet talking. خلق الله آدم حين خلقه فضرب كتفه اليمنى فأخرج ذرية بيضاء كأنهم الذر، وضرب كتفه اليسرى فأخرج ذرية سوداء كأنهم الحمم، فقال للذي في يمينه إلى الجنة ولا أبالي، وقال للذي في كفه اليسرى إلى النار ولا أبالي. Black will go to hell. Black will go to hell. White will go to heaven. Your God is racist.
For just for the Arabic, for just 30 seconds.
You want the Arabic? Okay, no problem. Here we go. Read it.
Okay. Okay, that mean all of white go to paradise and all of black go to hell.
Why?
Right?
But why black will go to hell?
I just said, and all of we done on earth right now is useless.
Is what?
It's useless. If you think this this hadith mean all of white, خلاص, they are in paradise and all of black in hell.
Okay. So guys, he agreed. He says, okay, I agree. All black people will go to hell and white people will go to heaven. But you, a second ago, you said to me in Islam, we are all
So,
brothers and sisters, black and white, etc. So the propaganda is exposed.
if you understand that law about just take the hadith without his tafsir.
What tafsir? Even the hadith need tafsir? What's up with this religion? This is very simple. It says it clearly: all white will go to heaven, all black will go to hell.
They go to he said to the party on his right side to paradise.
Okay,
Khalas.
they are the white ones. Okay, so the redhead, the white ones will go to heaven. The black ones they will go to hell. Why? So why the black will go to hell? Give me a reason. What they did?
This is not the problem here. The problem
No,
is
this is the problem. This is the problem for me. I'm black.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
What do you mean welcome? Your God says I will go to hell.
I need the tafsir, please.
You need to leave?
I said Mr. Christian. I just said I'm not good in Arabic, and I'm not good in the Arabic. I mean by Arabic the اللغة الفصحى.
All right, no problem. Well, thank you very much for.
As you know,
thank you for coming, Khalid. Thank you. You are. I'm glad I spoke to you. You are very educated. I learned a lot of knowledge from you. I was zero before you came here, and I learned a lot. Thank you for coming.
No, I have learned a lot. I swear, I have learned a lot.
No. I insist. I learned from you a lot.
No, I'm not joking. I took in with respect.
No
you are a very good person.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I thank you for your time, and I hope you after that when a Christian talk about the Quran, you can just bring the tafsir. Don't just bring the tafsir when the statement is for you.
All right.
Always, not every Christian and not every Muslim knows all the meanings of Quran.
No problem. All right, Akhai. Thank you very much for coming. Take care, my friend.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We have a good time with our friend Khalid from Egypt. It was a very nice conversation, and the conclusion: you black people will go to hell, and white people will go to heaven. And you know, for me, I'm half black, half white. I don't know, like depend in the season. So I don't know which part of me will go to heaven, which part will go to hell. Would be a problem if half of me go to heaven and half of me go to hell. You know, and at least if I want to go to the heaven of Allah, I would like to take the part which have the penis there to go to heaven. At least it can be useful there. You know, a lot of women waiting. So it's you know, it's have to be like 50-50 maybe. You know, so this way you're like it's so cold in heaven, so hot in hell. So your ass, half ass here, half ass there. You mix them together, you will have a nice temperature. Takbir. All right. All right, guys. I hope we have a good time. But as you see, those Muslims, we did not even play much of the video of this Sabeel Ahmed. But do you see how they are wicked liars with those Sabeel Ahmed and his kind? We got them busted. The Trinity is in every page in the Bible. Elohim, gods. Echad, unification, unity. This is what the Bible says. When the Bible says, "Oh Israel, your God is one," that is Echad. And we have tons of verses in the Bible speaking about how the Spirit of God participate in the creation. As an example, if you go to the book of Psalm 104, you will see how it's speaking about the Spirit giving life to the humanity. If you go to Psalm 1:4, 29, 30, Same we find in Genesis chapter 2 verse number 7. The whole Bible is about this. Old Testament or New Testament. The Spirit of God give a very unique, powerful power. So when Abdul he tried to speak to us about the Bible, never take what the Abdul say. And if Abdul he try to confront you lying and you do not know how to refute the liar, bring him here and leave the rest for me. Here we make shish kebab. All right? So I want to say thank you guys for being here. I hope we have a good time. Don't forget to leave your comment. No, I got to go, you know, like if we stay too much long, people they say we don't have time to watch those long in these videos. So it's enough. We covered the topic. We can continue later about those Muslim videos, no problem. I mean, we will keep going forever until God he take my soul to him. No worry. But the whole point here is not how long we stay, is how much we learn. We want the Christians learn how to not only to debunk, but to demolish the garbage of Muhammad. Muhammad is a satanic person. There's no question about that. You see, when somebody come to you says there is a guy, he's a prophet, etc., right away, the Bible is your guideline. From their fruits you shall know them. Don't give me a speech about this guy, he speak about God, speak about one God. Who cares if you have one God or 10 God? The question is his God, is it true? Is he really a prophet or not? The rest is not important. Because if the first one is true, and the second one is true, then he's truthful. You have 10 God, the Muslim when you say I have one God. So who cares? Those who worship Satan, they have one God. Those who have a temple, it's called temple of Satan, they don't worship 10 Satan, they worship one Satan. And you Muslim, you worship one Satan. His name is Muhammad, who used the name of so-called God to fulfill his sexual desire in his pocket. All cult leaders, they share one thing: sex and women and money. He promised sex in his heaven. He practiced sex in his earth. And I'm talking about sex which is not lawful. I'm not talking about somebody having sex with his wife. Muhammad was a pervert. Sex with the children. Sex with his own son wife. Sex with women, he kidnapped them. Sex, he made unlimited women, they can F him. A Muslim can have 4. No, Muhammad, he have unlimited. Why? Oh, he's Muhammad. What Muhammad mean? The praised one. So we praise the man to be God, the praised one. So who's God? If Muhammad is his name alone is enough to know that he is the devil. The devil, he tried to be called Muhammad, the praised one. The name alone is a clear evidence that Muhammad is the devil. Not only the behavior, but in the case of Muhammad, we have the behavior, we have the evidence of his behavior from Muslim books. And he changed his name to be called the praised one. And then the stupid Abdul, they tried to put Muhammad in the Bible. So they tried to squeeze him. Muhammad in the Bible, where? They say he is the comforter. They say there that the comforter is everlasting with you, and that is the Holy Spirit. Is Muhammad is a Holy Spirit? They are mentally possessed, demonic. and they are bankrupt. And we are here to expose them. All right? So I want to say thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to leave your comment. I appreciate people who leave comment and they say something smart, even though I keep saying that, but nobody care. Really, people don't want to use their brain. People become so lazy. This is why everybody use calculator. So don't make me your calculator. Those who don't use their brain, they will lose the brain. Those who don't know God, they will lose God. Those who don't follow God, they will follow Satan. So you have to maintain yourself, and you have to go through a crusade, even against yourself. Otherwise, the world will manipulate you, will fool you, will destroy you. Don't be part of this world. Be holy like your Father. In order to reach that point, you have to work in yourself. And to work in yourself, you have to read the Bible, you have to study, you have to think. Don't be just a person who come here just to laugh, ha ha ha, stupid Muslims, ha ha ha. But we are here to learn, not for a comedy show. This is very serious. It's about heaven and hell. This is extremely serious. So I pray that all of us, we are as a Christians, we will become a crusade. For we have a mission. We are at war with the devil and his kingdom. The devil have many names. The devil have many systems. The devil is like a lizard who change his color. Sometimes they call themselves socialist. Sometimes they call themselves communist. Sometimes they call themselves Muslims. He have many names. But all of them, they share one fruit. The fruits of the devil. If you are of your father Abraham, you do the work of your father Abraham. But their work is the work of the devil, their father. So from their fruit we shall know them. And this is always should be your guideline for anyone who come to you and says, I am a prophet. I am the Messiah. I'm speaking in the name of God. Many and most, they speak in the name of God, but they do not know God. They are businessmen. Look at the fruits, not at the beauty. Because a grave from outside is shiny and white. Cover my marble, but in dark is gloomy and dark. And this is how Islam is. They dress white, but they are the same as a grave. It's where you die and you go to hell. Don't be like an insect who think that fire is light. So the insect, she go inside the fire and boom, she is burned. We are a human. We knew the distance and the difference between fire and light. The Messiah, he says, I am the light of the world. I am the truth. I am the resurrection. I am he. And you make the choice. God is good. So is Jesus. And we are the crusade. See you very soon again. God bless.